Whoa, 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 wow.
This game was loud as fuck when I opened it. Hold on. Oh, is it not good? There we go. Hi guys, hi guys, hi guys. Hold on. It seems we've got a request for a custom greeting. What was that? It's been a while, huh? Thanks, Duke. Good evening, everybody. I'm your Casca Girl Amontillado Ghost Grove YouTuber. It's so nice to see you all again. Hold on, let me check my cookie run real quick. Okay, sick. So, yeah, I'm having a relaxing evening. It's relaxing. It's visual novel night. That means we're chilling, we're relaxing, and we're gonna have a good time engaging in some good storytelling by Spike Chunsoft. Because they are the ones who did AI Desomnium Files and everything good. I do not have the foot massager on right now. It did beat up beat the shit out of my feet last time. I guess I could turn it to do like heat only. Hold on. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This thing's a monster. Okay. So, I don't know anything about this game. I know that everybody recommends it very highly. And that I don't see my mouse when I'm playing, so I might as well. Would it rather me have a controller? It feels like it wants me to have a controller. Do you want the guide to gameplay to be displayed? We recommend that. Sure. Does it want me to do? Yeah, that's what it wants. Keys. Okay. Show me what you got. This story is a work of fiction. Names, characters, places, and incidents either are products of the author's imagination or are used fictitiously. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, events, or locales is entirely coincidental. This is a real game. This happened to me. Ah, wow. Let's turn that down. Spike Chungus. Yep, that's his name. Whoa. Oh my god, what an adventure we are going on. And like, we can talk about the, wow, how loud it is. The very obvious big point here is that, yeah, it doesn't look like it's like animated. Right? Like it is real life actors and footage. Gigantus Pov. Disgusting. I have also been meaning to, I've had this for like years. I bought it when it was on sale forever across. Oh my god, welcome. Yay. We'll play together then. Oh shit. Fantastic. Oh shit. Oh shit, a hostage. It's like we're watching a movie. Deceived, not kidnapped? Okay. Thank you, Wit. Thank you. Ack. Not for that one. Tricked into kidnap? Yeah. The kidnapper becomes the kidnappee. New BL genre. The car blew up. Did it actually? Shiva's story is yours to tell. It's mine. Ah! As you play through the game, the various mechanics will be explained. In 428, you follow the stories of multiple protagonists at once. Your decisions impact their experiences as you read the story. What does the day hold in store? Their fate is in your hands. Hopefully, you can see them all through to the end. To start, you have two characters, Shinya Kano and Achi Endo. Let's begin by checking out. Thank you for the follow, Waker. Welcome in. Hi, Kano. Whoa. Look at him turn. His turned face. So good. Okay. Can I? No. Yeah. That's me. That's Kano now. Just 2 more minutes to go. Shinya Kano noted the time again on his watch, scowling at the slow creep of the second hand. The time was 9:58 a.m. Furrows of consternation creased his forehead. I'm shifting into the body of Kano. He wasn't nervous, but he knew better than to expect everything to go smoothly. Keeping a level head was proving rather difficult. There was no room for failure. Lives were on the line here. He eyed his surroundings. Was the perp really going to show up? When? Where would he be coming from? How would he make his approach? The Shibuya Scramble was as packed as ever. A throng of people crossing this way and that, blissfully unaware of the dozens of detectives hidden in its midst. All right, another minute and a half. They did it! It's me! Kano glanced out at his watch yet again. A mere 30 seconds had passed. Detective Kano had been with the enforcement arm of Shibuya's criminal affairs section for a year now, but he'd never been part of an operation this big before. That's the woman from the cover! He eyed the young woman standing beside the statue up ahead. She was small enough to get lost in the crowd, and she carried a nondescript attaché case. She's beautiful. Hitomi Osawa, age 19. The attaché case in her hands contained a full 50 million yen in cash. Yesterday, her twin sister Maria had been kidnapped. This was the ransom payment. The culprit had called Hitomi last night at the home, referring to her by name and telling her to wait by the statue of Hachiko in Shibuya. It was almost time, but nothing. Kano was staring fixedly at the second hand on his watch when a homeless man sitting on the sidewalk murmured just loud enough for him to hear. Come on, Kano. Quit looking at your watch so much. What if the kidnapper sees you? Kano tried to look nonchalant as he lifted his eyes, but the scruffy character continued. You're too nervous. Just relax already. You're the one acting suspicious, Sasayama. Kano frowned. Why would some homeless guy be talking to me? Yuji Sasayama was the senior officer at the Shibuya Precinct's Criminal Affairs Division. Excuse me, I'm still reading. 5 years older than Kano. Some words and phrases in the text were blue. These are called tips. Press tab to underline a tip, then press space. Some extra info relating to that word or phrase. Cool. Oh, whoa. Yeah, I know what Shibuya is. He always went a little overboard with the disguises. He claimed it was all part of the job, but word around the station was that he just liked playing dress-up. Hey, pal, spare some change? Sasayama lurched to his feet and shuffled in close to Kano. Hey, knock that off! Fittingly for the part, Sasayama reeked pretty badly. Well, ain't so suspicious now, huh? Fun costume time. He's a theater kid that scored too well on his exams to let it all go. He clung to Kano with mock camaraderie, despite the younger man's attempts to pull away. Come on, Sasayama, cut it out! Sasayama's blithe confidence rattled Kano's nerves. Of course, there was a good reason for that confidence. This was Kano and Sasayama's jurisdiction, but they were positioned a good distance from where the handoff was to take place. The statue of Hachiko was surrounded by elite investigators, from one of HQ's special investigation teams. Okay. What is this, a vocab game? Jurisdiction. Metropolitan Police Department, the Tokyo Police, yep. Cool. I'm good. Kano and his partner were just there to provide backup if the kidnapper attempted to flee. Look, just try to relax. We'll be fine. Sasayama gave him a wink. A moment later, the radio squawked in Kano's ear. All right, everyone, it's time. Keep your eyes open. Oh, whoa. The voice coming through the earpiece was Koji Kuze, HQ's operations director. Till last year, he'd been the Shibuya precinct's head detective and Kano's supervisor. We don't know when the perp is going to make contact. Don't let your guard down. Kuze's low, gravelly voice echoed in Kano's ear. We don't know when the perp is... You don't sound too worried, Kuze. Kano winced at Sasayama's words. How could a man be so nonchalant? The appointed time had come and gone. Something should be happening. Wah! Kano smacked himself in the thigh to release a little tension. The sound was louder than he'd intended. Though the suit hit his muscular physique, Kano, it did little to dampen the noise. He needed to stay focused. He might be called to action at any moment. The department handled abduction cases according to a certain standard investigation procedure. Was it an attempt to extort money, or was the motive something personal? The answer to that question determined how they'd deal with the criminal. And based on the investigation team's initial findings this time around, they probably weren't dealing with a professional kidnapper. Still, in all likelihood, it was someone with quite a long rap sheet. Probably someone who knew the family, but so far they had few leads who might bear such a grudge. With the situation so unclear, the plan was to apprehend whomever came to make the handoff on sight. If the culprit ran off with the money, there'd be no guarantee of the hostage's well-being. Still nothing, Sasayama muttered. There he is! He's here! He's here! Kuze broke in, his voice spiking into an excited chirp. Kuze's particular vocal quirk. Whenever he gets overly flustered, excited, or panicked, he slips into a childish register, prone to babbling and pitching. Subject is a young male in his 20s, wearing a bandana and an orange hoodie. Kuze, normally calm and stoic, was now squawking like an excited child. That only happened when he got particularly worked up. Kano and Sasayama steeled themselves. They could see the subject now. A 20-something male nonchalantly approached Hitomi to talk to her. All right, people, be ready to grab this guy. Kuze was stationed in the mobile command center, not far from the intersection, keeping tabs on the situation via video surveillance from the camera team. The young man started speaking enthusiastically to Hitomi. The detectives watched, uncertain. Was this really the kidnapper? That's gotta be him. Kano took a step forward, then hesitated. You'll encounter selections like these during the story. These choices will change the lives of other people in addition to changing your own fate. Oh. Hey, guy. This one's a gimme. That's got to be him. The situation still wasn't entirely clear. You need to get a better look at things. I think we gotta get a better look at things. With this guy could just be handing out flyers. Situation still wasn't entirely clear. He needed to get a better look at things. The newcomer held a bunch of letter-sized papers, which he showed to Hitomi as he went on talking. He tried to hand her one of the papers, but she pointedly ignored him. Undeterred, the man kept trying to foist it off on her. Hitomi refused to respond, becoming as motionless as the statue of Hachiko behind her, until finally the man gave up and walked away. I was right. For now. Guess it wasn't him. Kano felt the tension of the moment linger in his spine. Guy must have been hitting on her. What could hitting on her mean? Succeeding at meeting someone on the fly like this takes a special knack. Looks are also important. Sometimes, of course, the person trying to get your attention out of nowhere is just trying to make a sales pitch for a product or a nearby establishment. First glance, it isn't always easy to tell the difference. Thank you. I mean, she is pretty cute and all. He had a point. Though, of course, something in Sasayama's voice made Kano brace himself. She's got nothing on my Mii-chan. Mii-chan was Sasayama's wife. They'd gotten married just last month. Aw, good for him. Oh my god. Let me tell you, Kano, married life is the best. You gotta hurry up and give it a try for yourself. This was Sasayama's favorite topic lately, and Kano was getting more and more fed up with it. Sasayama, come on, just knock it off already. This phrase had become a common refrain of his since the department partnered them. Fine, fine. Let's talk about your girlfriend then. Huh? Now? You can't be serious. Sasayama leaned in close again. What's she like? We are not having this conversation. Kano muttered, looking away. Aw, come on! Sasayama set his hand on Kano's chest, still playing the homeless troublemaker. Show me your phone. Let me see your lock screen. Huh? Sasayama pawed for the phone. You've got to pick up your girl on your lock screen, yeah? I do not! But he did. It was scary how on the mark Sasayama's instincts were. Hey, cut it out! We're in the middle of an investigation! I am investigating, Sasayama chuckled as he plucked the phone from Kano's pocket. His face scrunched up with astonishment as he looked at the lock screen. The heck is this? It's not... Ain't this Masami Nagahama? A national star, tends to play the heroine on national morning soap operas or in international historical dramas. Her songs have been a series of national hits, but she's been slated to host the year, and she's even slated to host the year-end national singing competition program. Everything about her is national. Kano realized he had to bite the bullet. No, that's my girlfriend. Her name's Rumi, and she's... Sasayama cut him off. You're telling me this ain't Masami Nagahama, the famous actress? Because this right here is Masami Nagahama. Like I said, you sly old dog. Trying to make like you're dating Masami Nagahama. I'm not. I mean, I guess Rumi does kind of look like her. Sasayama let out a huff. For real? You really think I'm gonna fall for that? There's nothing to fall for, I swear. Sasayama scowled, unconvinced. Alright, then why don't you marry her? Kind of stammered, but he had no answer. She looks gorgeous. The truth was, he would have happily married her already, but there were obstacles that needed to be overcome. Family? Friends? Distance? Career? Money? Okay, playtime's over. Let's focus on the job. Sasayama handed back Kano's phone and turned his gaze back to Hitomi. Kano let out a quick, uneasy sigh. But his shoulders... You don't let out a sigh, you take in a sigh. Or, you let out a sigh. Maybe Sasayama had been trying to relieve a bit of the tension. Maybe you should be grateful. You got a good partner, Kano. This one's a keeper. By now, several minutes had passed since the guy with the papers had gone away. He peered at Hitomi. The strain on her face was visible. In addition to the weight of the attaché case itself, the 5,000, 10,000 yen bills it held, 5,000, 10,000 yen bills it held weighed close to 6 kilos. You must first defeat my 7 evil perps. You must first kidnap 7 other women. Her slender arms must have been getting tired. Ooh, she's so delicate. Still, she refused to set the case down. She wasn't taking any chances with her sister's life. 11 pounds. The kidnapping case had begun the day before, at around 7 p.m. This is MPD dispatch. The Shibuya precinct is reporting a missing person believed to be an abduction. In Japanese law, the act of indirectly luring or deceiving someone into the control of a third party is known as kidnapping. Oh, whoa! We don't have that here in America. Using forcible threats or violence to achieve the same result is known as abduction. We don't have either of those in America. That's a purely Japanese thing. Subject is Maria Osawa, a 19-year-old student at Midoriyama Academy, last seen at the LL Diner near campus. It's called A man was allegedly seen forcing her into a car nearby. All officers in the vicinity report to the scene at once. Kano and Sasayama had been working a burglary case in the Jingumai's 5th Division when they got the call. The two arrived at the LL Diner at 7:15 p.m. At roughly the same time, several other officers showed up to secure the area, blocking off entry to nearby roadways and monitoring the surrounding establishments. I said Sasayama out of drag! Inside the restaurant, Kano and Sasayama were met by the girl who'd reported the kidnapping. It was the victim's twin sister, Hitomi. Ah, nothing like a murder mystery with twins. That means we're gonna have some fun identities. Could you tell us about when Maria was taken, starting from the very beginning? Kano said, keeping his voice low. Ah, she's beautiful. My sister and I, we were supposed to go to a party together today. Yeah. Hitomi was trembling, her voice hoarse. But I messed up the time. I showed up right at 7, an hour later than I was supposed to. Suspicious. So Maria had gone alone to the party, a mixer for locals and exchange students. Hitomi, arriving late, had showed up just in time to glance out through the restaurant window and see her sister getting shoved into a car. She described the vehicle as a blue station wagon of Japanese make. Hi. Hi, Tai. Why would something like this happen to her? Hitomi held back her tears, but she was shaking all over. Did you get a look at the kidnapper? Yes, it was a man, middle-aged.
Who is that white man?
Who is this dude? There was another eyewitness, Leland Palmer. Leland Palmer. He identified himself as a lecturer at Hitomi and Maria's school. I saw it too. It's like Hitomi says. I heard Hitomi cry out, and so I went to the window to look. And his Japanese was halting, as if he hadn't been in the country very long. And I think that maybe the kidnapper was working alone. Leland explained that he'd seen the man shove Maria in the back seat, then clamber into the driver's seat. If he had an accomplice, wouldn't they have been driving? Neither Hitomi nor Leland had gotten a look at the suspect's face. Kano was interviewing others who had been on the scene, looking for other potential witnesses when his phone rang. It was Yoshio Kajiwara, one of the senior detectives. We've set up a task force for the investigation. Get back to the station once you have a handle on the situation there. Barely half an hour had passed between the time the kidnapping was reported and the time the task force operation began. Roughly 150 people are working on the case in the Shibuya Precinct's conference room. The main force at work is HQ's first special investigation unit. Additionally, other detective sections, a riot squad, and investigators from neighboring precincts have been assembled. Taking this one serious. When Kano and Sasayama got back to the precinct station, Kuze had already arrived from HQ. He informed them that a response team. In a case where someone has been abducted for ransom, it is often difficult to resolve the situation without cooperating with the victim's family. But the family can also be a hindrance in making an arrest. To help guide the family's actions, a response team is assembled and stationed at the victim's home even, led by an investigator with the proper training. Had been formed to investigate the victim's home. Kano could feel a peculiar tension in the air, unfamiliar MPD detectives scurrying to and fro around the Shibuya offices. He pulled one of them aside to get a quick update. An hour had now passed since the kidnapping. There had been one new development. The perpetrator had made a threatening call to the victim's home. He said the following.
Tomorrow, 10 a.m., by Hachiko in Shibuya. Have the sister, Hitomi, bring 50 million yen. If not, the girl's life is forfeit.
With the banana. Kajiwara from the precinct was put on the response team along with detectives from elsewhere who'd received special training in abduction cases. Normally, a local precinct detective wouldn't have gone undercover in a victim's home. Kuze, however, had decided that having a knowledgeable local was crucial and had sent Kajiwara along. The detectives disguised themselves as delivery people and movers to make their way inside without arousing suspicion, arriving there at 8:30. Yeah, delivery people and movers at 8:30 p.m. The response team had come prepared to run a trace if the kidnapper contacted the family a second time. Do you have to pinpointing a source from an incoming phone? Yep. But there were no further calls. Uber Eats. Well, they didn't have Uber Eats back in whatever the hell this was. Kano checked his watch again. 20 minutes had now passed since the time designated for the ransom handoff. The kidnapper had yet to appear. To be fair, the guy on the phone did not say don't involve the police. Usually, they did have pizza guys. That's true. But not moving people. They had deliveries, though, at 8 p.m. Who gets a delivery at 8 p.m.? Also, like I said, they didn't say don't work with the police. Usually they'll say that on the phone. Crap. You think we might have spooked him? He wondered aloud. Hey, stay calm. Sasayama scanned the passing throng. Looks like modern day. It's like 2005. Early odds, yeah. He's just playing with us. Why this guy even pick this place? Kano voiced the question he'd been asking himself ever since he heard the kidnapper's demands. Is he making her wait like Hachiko? That'd be fucked up. Aughts means like the 2000s. Just because the towers fell doesn't mean things had to change. Sasayama shrugged. Figure he must want to blend in with the crowd, nab the money, and disappear before anyone knows he's there, would be my guess. People outside of America. In that case, why not pick Shinjuku or Ginza? The big crowd didn't just benefit the kidnapper, after all. It also allowed the police to use the sea of people to conceal their own operation. Right now, there are 50 detectives stationed within a 50-meter radius of where Hitomi stood. The kidnapper would be taking a major risk if his plan was to nab the ransom money and run. That's what bothered Kano. Any criminal with half a brain would know better than to do a handoff in front of Hachiko. You're overthinking things, pal. Sasayama grumbled. No, I'm not. Kano reached into his pocket and pulled out his notepad. This was Kano's dick diary, which he always kept close at hand. I knew a girl who kept one of those in college. Sasayama rolled his eyes. That thing again? Kano ignored him, flipping through the notepad pages. Day 13. 6 inches. Light girth. Shaved. Aha! Here it is. Dick dictum. The more irrelevant something seems, the more relevant it's bound to be. It was a favorite saying of Kyuzo Tateno, an assistant inspector from the Shibuya precinct. Tateno was the kind of detective Kano aspired to be. For the current operation, he'd been placed in charge of Hitomi's personal safety. He was in position to defend her as soon as the ransom had been handed off. Of course, Hitomi hadn't been informed of how much protection she was under. There was a risk that if she acted too secure, it might alert the kidnapper. I think Tateno has the right idea. Sasayama snorted quietly. Maybe. I mean, he's a great detective. Don't get me wrong. But do you know how many irrelevant things there are to consider? Again, Kano ignored him. It didn't matter if nobody else understood. Kano had faith in Tateno, as both a detective and as an individual. He had first witnessed Tateno's brilliance during a standoff at a financial company 3 years earlier. A man had shut himself in an office, splashing gasoline everywhere and threatening to set the place ablaze. I should do that at my workplace. While the others hesitated, Tateno unflinchingly doused himself with gasoline and strode into the building, where he managed to talk the man down and secure the scene. Oh my god. Ugh. He's got the biggest dick in the diary. The others had been awestruck by Tateno's actions. Kano, who at the time had been content to be a run-of-the-mill policeman, had found it quite inspiring. I love his little Party City costume. Still, you know. Sasayama murmured under his breath. As great a detective as Tateno is, it's not like anybody else in the world has ever heard of him. I suppose not, Kano said. So? Only time anyone ever hears a cop's name is if he's caught up in some scandal or killed in the line of duty. I mean, doesn't really seem fair, does it? Kano just shrugged. There's a strange definition of unfair, really. I mean, you've got celebrity chefs and celebrity hairdressers and stuff. So how come no celebrity gumshoes, you know? Look, please, can you just focus on... Shut up. Please shut up. Kano rubbed his eyes and turned his attention back to Hitomi. What's the matter? Didn't sleep? Not enough, I guess. Did you eat? Didn't have time. Between bringing in supplies for the base of operations. Cool. Readying for the team's vehicles, photocopying hundreds of documents and various other tasks, Kano had barely slept the previous night and hadn't gotten a meal in either. What have you been doing? Sasayama puffed out his chest. Saving up my energy for today. So you were sleeping. Kano gave a wry chuckle at his partner's lack of shame. Things that make you say, There he is! Kuze's voice chirped suddenly through Kano's earpiece. There he is! A man in his 20s, wearing a sleeveless red jacket. He's carrying a garbage bag. That's the other playable guy. A young man had emerged from the crowd about 15 feet from where Hitomi was standing. He strode toward her, a sinister look on his face. He didn't match Hitomi's description, but Kano felt a jolt of nerves all the same. Maybe the kidnapper had hired some young street punk to snatch a ransom payment. That our guy? What do you think, Kano? Sasayama whispered. Yeah, I think he's got to be. This was it. Kano swallowed the lump in his throat. He bent his knees, ready to act fast. Blood rushed to his leg muscles, banishing the stiffness that had begun to take hold. Could this be the culprit? Or perhaps... The young man tried to snatch the briefcase from Hitomi, but she clung to it with desperate strength. It was him! The detectives rushed in. Whoa, hey, what the hell? The young man cried out frantically and tried to dart away, but the officers closed in, forcing him bodily onto the ground. Target secured. Oh, geez, I think we got another suspect on the scene. Eek, he's taken the ransom! Kuze's hysterics made Kano spin around. Sure enough, a foreign-looking man was sprinting away, attaché, case in hand. The mob of detectives scrambled to pursue. Before Kano could react, most of them had run off, leaving him to look at after the original suspect. Aw, man, a foreigner? Maybe it was Leland Palmer. What should I do with this guy, sir? He might have some connection to the kidnapper. Should I bring him in? Huh? Oh, sure, that'd be swell. I'm on it. With the help of one of the remaining detectives, Connor brought the suspect back to the Shibuya precinct. A white man? Oh, a little haughty. Look, how many times do we have to go through this? Cut the crap. In the interrogation room, the young man, who gave his name as Achiendo, steadfastly insisted on his innocence. Why'd you try to steal that case? Kana watched Achi's face intently. Like I said, it looked heavy, so I was just trying to help her out. It wasn't inconceivable that a young guy would want to help a pretty girl, but he told me he had just been standing there, hardly in desperate need of assistance. She hadn't set the case down, so I figured there had to be something important inside. An entry from Kano's Dick diary shot through his mind. Dick Dictum, number 25. When the tongue slips, grab it and yank out the truth. Classic advice for a questioning. Something important, you say, such as... How the heck would I know, Achi spat. He huffed and slumped back in his chair. The standard textbook back and forth had been going on for nearly an hour. Kano didn't mind. Chasing down criminals was all well and good, but questioning suspects was another key part of the job. Plenty of off-the-scene work went into cracking a case. Once again, he had Achi explain what he'd been doing, starting from the beginning. Here we go. Let's look for some holes in this testimony, I guess. When Kano finally emerged from the interrogation room for a short break, he learned that there had been some progress on the case at the crime scene. What the police hadn't been able to determine yet was whether or not Maria was safe. Fighting back his anxiety, Kano consulted his Dick diary. Dick Dictum 54. Haste makes waste. He felt his tension subside. Remembering the right maxim always helped. It was like casting a magic spell. What a loser. Look at him just sitting there with these big, like, idioms. Like, and wise sayings in his big-ass writing. Kano returned to confront Achi once more. You were there to act as a distraction. To mess up the investigation, weren't you? Huh? Achi looked a bit dumbfounded. What are you on about? Dick Dictum 55. He's a little bit autistic. And not in a bad way or anything, just the truth hungers to be free. You hungry? Got some katsudon if you like. Oh, it's a Japanese dish consisting of a bowl of white rice topped with breaded pork cutlet and egg. Achi nodded silently. God, that looks good. Achi devoured the bowl of katsudon with gusto. He looked like he hadn't eaten in a while. Alright then, spill it. What's this guy after? Achi just shrugged. I don't know, he murmured, a thick slice of egg-laden pork between his teeth. How many accomplices do you have? Kano asked, but Achi just shook his head as he inhaled his food. Resignedly, Kano flipped through his notebook once more. Let's see. Number 115. Use the lights to your advantage. As the minutes ticked past, he found himself referring to his book again and again, trying a dozen different methods to tease out whatever his suspect might be hiding. The experience began to feel strangely surreal, their two voices echoing hollowly in the interrogation room. He just flashes the light in his eyes. Where is she? Eventually, Kano looked at the clock and realized that the questioning had been going on for nearly 5 hours. He still hadn't made any headway. What was he supposed to do next? Tatano would know, but he sure didn't. Still, he was determined to do whatever he could to keep the victim and her family safe. Gritting his teeth in frustration, he perused the Dick diary like it was a scripture. Number 116. The monotonous questioning was clearly tiring Achi out. His eyelids drooped like they were beginning to get heavy. Number 117. Get 'em when they're tired. Kano's eyes gleamed. You're part of some criminal gang, huh? Oh, he's sleepy. Achi's head slumped forward heavily. Nodding off was basically the same as nodding yes, right? Mr. Kuze, I did it! The young guy with grads at the handoff site, he finally confessed to the crime. That's not how that works. Kano? What? What are you talking about? Kuze laughed in disbelief. We're just about to apprehend the mastermind here. Huh? Kano clutched his cell phone, dumbstruck. Listen, why don't you, Look, just wait there at HQ, okay? No, it can't be. Kano, you dumb bitch. Shoot yourself. After the kidnapping case wrapped up, Kano tendered his resignation. Guess I'm not cut out to be a detective after all, he thought to himself. He dropped the dick diary on his desk as he left the Shibuya precinct for the last time. Good game. Bad end. So long, Shibuya. Kano wound up at a bad end. However, this does not mean that the choice you made for Kano was the wrong one. One of the other protagonists, Achi Indo, has an impact on Kano's fate here. You can avoid a bad end by making proper decisions in another character's story. For a detailed hint, check the tip by underlining the bad end title, pressing yep. Kano had every reason to suspect Achi Indo, but arresting him turned out to be a mistake. If Achi hadn't approached Hitomi, this wouldn't have happened. Try playing Achi's story up to 10:30 and make a choice that keeps him from going up to her. If you do that, Kano won't even have the chance to arrest him, and things would play out differently. That's so funny. What a good bad end. But hey, they caught the guy. Yeah, you can now select Achi Endo, one of the other protagonists. Let's follow Achi's story for a while. Yeah, see you later, Kano. It's Achi time. So silly. Whoa. Is that a woman or him? Is that him? Ugh, what a rough and tough guy. Achi Indo called out the door to his father's room. Okay, I'm heading out. Sure. His father sounded unconcerned. He didn't even open the door. Sure you don't want me to stay here in the shop? It's not like we're gonna get any customers. Achi grimaced. Yeah, I guess not. The drawer by the front door held a stack of heavy-duty trash bags. Achi pulled a few of them out. Guess it's gonna be that kind of day. He stuffed the trash bags into his pocket and slipped on his favorite pair of sneakers. The entryway to Achi's home also led into the family shop. Various pieces of electronics were piled up so much junk in the tiny retail space. The slightest bump brought the risk of an avalanche. Achi wove his way through the gaps in appliances like a spelunker exploring a cave. Ugh. From Shibuya Station, if you make your way past the 109 building, then up through Dogenzaka, you'll come across an old shopping district. Nestled in the outskirts is Endo Electronics, in the same place it's been for decades. Within its dimly lit interior, you'll find rows of wares all caked in dust. At a glance, you might well assume the place was closed. A mom-and-pop place like Endo's couldn't compete with the big consumer chains booming throughout Shibuya. So far, the store had remained in business thanks to the locals who appreciated that they made house calls to do repairs. But things weren't looking good for the future. Achi, the eldest son and nominal successor to the business, had no interest whatsoever in working there. Achi stepped out of the shop and into the sunny morning air. The good weather lifted his spirits. Alrighty, time to do this. He unfurled one of the big garbage bags, which caught the wind and fluttered like a cape. Then he slowly made his way towards Shibuya Station, scanning his surroundings all the while. Sheesh, this place is filthy. He's a good guy! He paused to pick up a plastic bottle that had been tossed on the ground. Oh my god. Then with a heavy sigh, he slipped the crushed receptacle into his trash bag. What a good guy. He'd been picking up trash around town like this for about 6 months now. It had gotten so that the sort of garbage most people would hardly notice stood out to him like a sore thumb. Most days he'd fill his trash bag up to the top by the time he made it from his house in Dogenzaka to the train station. Today, he was halfway to the station when a woman's anxious voice caught his attention. "I'm sorry. I'm in a bit of a hurry. Here." He looked up and saw a timid-looking woman being confronted by 2 men, one with brown hair and one with black. From the look of them, he guessed that the men were scouts from some hostess club. He ran into this sort of thing pretty frequently on his trash cleaning walks around town. Another kind of trash to take care of. Ooh. Achi quickly interposed himself between the girl and the 2 recruiters. "Hey, can't you see that you're bothering her?" "Huh? Who the hell are you?" the 2 men glared. "Take a hike, pal." Achi stood his ground. "Look, she ain't interested. You're just gonna have to find some other mark." Oh my god, he's so charming, he's so cool. Oh my god, we love Achi. The hustler's annoyance turned to open rage. His shirt makes so much more sense. You're right, it is the eco shirt. Well, listen to you. Got a bit of a mouth, huh, buddy? Brown-haired thug smacked his lips around his chewing gum like a dog worrying a bone. "How about we take this someplace more quiet?" What this means can depend on the person speaking. To a young woman, "let's go someplace more quiet" might suggest a cafe or a park, but to a street punk, it might mean an alley where a passerby are unlikely to interrupt. Oh, thank you for that, Shibuya Scramble. The girl stood by uneasily, watching the goings-on. "Hey, take it easy. I'm not looking for trouble. Is that supposed to be an apology? On your knees and beg, pal." Whoa. Is it this kind of game? The man spat his gum onto the ground. Patoot! Achi looked down at the glistening wad of gum on the sidewalk. His last shred of goodwill vanished. "You better pick that up right now." "What? Didn't you hear me? 'Cause I told you to get down on your knees and bark!" Achi's hand shot out, grabbing the man by the jaw. Whoa, easy, pal. The other man's bravado drained from his face. Achi tightened his grip on the brown-haired hustler's jaw. Sweat dripped from the man's reddening brow. The man struggled, but Achi just tightened his grip. Gum's a real pain in the ass to clean up after it's gotten stuck to the street, you know. Ever stop to consider that? Wait, are you... The other hustler's panicked eyes had fixed on Achi's chest. Gah! Oh, crap! That shirt, man. The guy's voice was starting to break. That's mean clean! A guy with a mean clean shirt, carrying around a trash bag? That means you're... His face went pale. Mean clean? The other man echoed the words through his held-shut jaw, tears rolling up in his eyes. Get it right, pal. Achi clenched the man's jaw harder still. It's mean clean. Ow, 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 ow. We're sorry, man. You're Achi, right? Dude, we honestly had no idea. Come on, man, you gotta cut us some slack. The man scrambled to snatch a wad of gum off the street, stuffing it into his pants pocket. Finally, Achi let go of his companion. The brown-haired hustler's face was twisted up with fear. Tears streamed down his cheeks. Gasping out hasty apologies, the 2 thugs scampered off. Oh my god, they meant mean clean on the streets. Hey, so... A shy smile came to the girl's face. What's a girl? Ryoko Kakinuma, a second-year student at Midoriyama Academy's law school. These hustlers managed to corner her while she was on her way to her part-time job at a cafe. It's a popular plot in tragedy e-novels for the main character to fall in love with a hustler like these guys, but such things rarely happen in real life. Thank you for saving me. No, I apologize. Huh? The girl stared in surprise. You'll run into creeps like that now and then, but don't hold it against us. Shibuya's a good town. Yeah, okay. Achi gave her a quick wave, then turned and continued on his way down Dogenzaka. I love you, mean clean. Achi was Shibuya born and raised. He was keenly aware of all the changes the ward had seen since he was a kid. Grocery stalls and inconspicuous little side streets, tiny parks nestled between buildings. Achi knew it all like the back of his hand. Trash, human or otherwise, had no place in this town. Not on his watch. Oh, he's so sugoi. He's so kakoi. Achi made his way down toward Shibuya Station. Throngs of people shuffled to and fro across the scramble. The view shifted constantly from one moment to the next, almost as if the city itself were alive. And if the city was a living thing, then Shibuya Station was its heart. With streets like Bunkamura Dori and Center Gai serving as the arteries pumping a bloodstream made of people. Today, as ever, the heart was pumping that blood to every nook and cranny of Shibuya. And there was Achi, just another part of this great urban organism. Guess I'm one of the city's white blood cells. Or, wait, maybe I'm a red blood cell? Hold on. Is that right? Or did I have it right the first time? He's not that bright, but that's our Achi. White blood cells eliminate pathogens from the bloodstream. Red blood cells carry oxygen throughout the body. Achi was probably thinking of white blood cells. What a cool guy. Emerging from his reverie, he noticed a rather conspicuous young woman standing by the statue of Hachiko outside Shibuya Station. This motherfucker didn't watch Osmosis Jones or Cells at Work. Well, one of them, ooh, she's totally my type. To be up someone's alley. To be someone's cup of tea. I wonder if she's a model or some small-time actress or something. Looks like she's waiting for someone. Probably another guy. Dang. Good looking as she was, there was no way she wasn't already taken. What kind of guy scored a girl like that? Probably the rich-ass CEO of an IT company or something. Also, hey, big hat. Crouching down to tie off the trash bag, he continued gazing wistfully at the girl. Then he noticed something peculiar. She was carrying an attaché case, kind of like a businessman might use. It was a large case, and apparently so heavy that she was struggling to hold it despite using both hands. Now, what kind of person makes a young lady lug around something heavy like that? Achi figured you've reached a decision point. Let's have Achi not approach Hitomi. Yeah. But first, I gotta dump this trash. You don't know how old Achi is. He could also be 19. Now Achi won't approach Hitomi, which means he will avoid being arrested by Kano. At the same time, Kano's fate will also change. And he will no longer... No, I mean the CEO Kano. Oh, yeah. Why does this game include all these definitions? It's like it was made for aliens to understand English and human culture. Wait, I don't want to switch back yet. F2. Whoa! Yep. Alright. Just like alright. A suspicious man. Suppose you could call it that. Kano gave a wry chuckle at his partner's lack of shame. There he is! Kuze's voice chirped suddenly through Kano's earpiece. That's Pro Jared! The man in black coat. He's not Japanese. Looks to be in his early 30s. Previously, Achi got mixed up with Kano and the police, but now another man has appeared instead. By changing what Achi did, you've also changed Kano's story. A foreign man had emerged from the crowd about 15 feet from where Hitomi was standing. He made his way toward her, his expression blank. Oh my god. Bro came here to get a waifu. He didn't match the description Hitomi had given them, but Kano felt a jolt of nerves all the same. Maybe the kidnapper was using an accomplice to snatch the ransom payment. Alright. Sasayama raised an eyebrow. This may be our guy. This was it. Kano swallowed the lump in his throat. He bent his knees, ready for action. Dude, look at his chest hair. The stiffness that had begun to take hold. Was this the culprit? Or perhaps... The stranger took hold of the attaché case. It was him! En masse, the detectives began to close in. Let's go, Kano. On it! Sasayama and Kano leapt into action, but they never expected what happened next. With the case clutched in both arms, the man veered suddenly, running right toward the... someone. Keep out. Kano's story has suddenly hit a keep out. Keep out refers to a point in the story where your progress is currently stopped. In order to advance beyond a keep out, you need to jump from another protagonist story. At 10:30, Achi has the text, Young man in a suit, set as red keywords. Checking these. Red keywords will allow you to jump from Achi's story back to Kano's. Now head back to Achi's story and keep an eye out for that key phrase. Alright, try following the story from... Okay, we're going. I'm going. We will not attach... Approach the girl. To go back and reread sections you've already played through, scroll ahead. As you've already read, press... Okay, garbage bin nearby. Huh? A man had come up beside the girl. He was dressed in black and he wasn't Japanese. It looked like they were having a conversation. The girl nodded. Oh my god. The girl nodded tensely at something the man said. Achi stared. Something tells me that's not her boyfriend. Look at them behind him! The girl handed the attaché case over to the man. He took hold of it with his right hand and began walking briskly away. Whoa! A nearby homeless man suddenly leapt over. Yuji Sasayama, detective with the Shibuya precinct, also known as the cosplay detective due to the strange outfits he wears while on stakeouts. He's part of Ashina. Yeah, we know. Broke into a run as if he'd been waiting for this very moment. Sprinting alongside him was a young man in a suit. Some words in the text appear in red. Red, that's important keywords that let you jump between different protagonists. Cool. Okay. Oh. By performing a jump from the screen, you can advance another protagonist story past the keep out. Press space to confirm and jump over to con. Okay. Yep, jump time. Woo! Woo! Let's go, Kano! On it! Sasayama Kano leapt into action. You did it! Jump successful. On 428, you will often need to jump to get past another character's keep out. Jump from red keywords to clear a keep out. Keep this in mind as you advance through the story. Okay, there won't be any more tutorials. Yes! For a while. Damn it! If you get stuck somewhere, try changing protagonists or making different decisions to advance. You can now use the time chart in the main menu. From the main menu, you can access gameplay explanations and adjust settings. Press F2 to open the time chart and F1 to open the main menu. But they never expected what happened next. The case clutched on both arms, the man suddenly veered, running right toward them. What? Catching sight of the two detectives, the suspect staggered to a halt, then bolted off in a new direction. Kano whipped off his costume glasses and followed in hot pursuit. At the crosswalk, the signal changed to red and the flow of foot traffic abruptly halted. Just as quickly, hundreds of cars all lurched back into motion. There was no escape for the culprit now. Or so it appeared. The converging cops slowed their pace, confident their man was cornered. Then the foreigner barreled straight into the intersection, dodging between the oncoming cars without any hesitation. Because he was eating a banana. The mob of detectives came to a halt, not eager to rush to their deaths along with him. Kano, however, remained in hot pursuit, charging into traffic at the crossing. Kano, are you crazy? Come back! Kano heard Sasayama shouting, but his feet kept carrying him onward. Get that white man! With shouts and sirens echoing all around him, Kano closed in on the foreigner. Just a little closer, and he'd be in tackling range. He leaned forward, preparing to pounce, his eyes fixed on the culprit's feet. It was now or never. Kano, back off! Don't take him down! It was Kuze shouting through Kano's earpiece. Huh? Kano hesitated in surprise. Had he really just been ordered not to apprehend the criminal? Let him go for now. The real purpose someplace else. Purpose, police jargon for perpetrator. Here, Kuze is referring to the fact that the principal offender in the case must be elsewhere. What had happened to the plan? He'd been told that all personnel were to secure the area ASAP. Didn't HQ want them to catch the perpetrator? Arrest team, stay on the foreigner's tail. Forensics team, get busy cross-referencing photos. Even if this foreigner was only an underling hired for this one task, the police had now tipped their hand that they'd been lying in wait. If they didn't lock things down now and get more info on the kidnapper, a girl's life might be at stake. Connor recalled another maxim from his dick diary. Dick dictum, number 12. Always assume a worst-case scenario. If Kusei had told him to let this guy go, that implied he was counting on the team that was now in position. But if the crook had planned a way to break through the police dragnet and escape with the ransom, and he succeeded, what was the right call here? Should take this guy down or back off after all? I think it's quite the risk. I don't know. Why would we... What's the harm in letting letting Kano continue to chase him? Like, I don't get that. Letting the perp escape now is too big of a risk. He had to catch this guy ASAP. We're gonna be just like Tateno. The man darted down a narrow alleyway. Kano ran faster. The man sprinted through the side streets. Evidently, he knew his way around Shibuya pretty well. Eep! Someone's taken Hitomi! Kano recognized Kusei's trademark squawk immediately. Subject is male. He appears to be carrying a gun! He's fleeing in the direction of Meiji Dori. What? Kano could hardly believe it. Hitomi had been kidnapped? Had she been abducted by whoever had taken Maria? But why? Someone must have been waiting for the moment when the police took their eyes off her. Something's very wrong here. What in the world's going on? Kano saw that the road forked up ahead. The man with the attaché case ran to the left. If the man who'd taken Hitomi was heading toward Meiji Dori, there was a good chance he'd gone down one of the alleyways off to the right. Making a snap judgment, Kano told the detective behind him to follow the case snatcher, and then turned and headed down the nearest alley. See, we're going to be near Hitomi now. After darting through the side streets, he spotted a different man, another foreigner, crossing an intersection a few dozen meters ahead. How many foreigners are here? The man was dressed in black, just like the guy who'd grabbed the ransom money. Kusei's right, the kidnapper wasn't acting alone. But wait, something was amiss. Hitomi isn't with him. Where was she? Kano skidded around the corner, then stopped short. The man in black was standing there, pointing a gun right at him. Before Kano could react, the man fired. Kano felt hot all over, as if he were on fire. Damn it! All except for his cheek, pressed against the asphalt, and the palms of his hands. They were so cold. There was nothing he could do. Nothing, that is, except lie there and watch as his killer turned and walked away. Shit. I thought we were doing the right thing, Kano. Kano, you have to hear me out. Shot by a foreigner! Aww. Aww. But there were other but there were other people. There were other people there that could have watched Hitomi. Why was it my fault? Sasayama could have talked to Hitomi. You know what? Let the other officers chase after the guy. Kano had his own job to do. Kusei's instructions had been clear. Let the other officers chase after the guy. Kano had his own job to do. He broke off his pursuit, pointing the next wave of detectives in the direction the foreigner had fled. It's really gonna suck when there's a dead detective tomorrow morning anyways. Kano had almost gotten close enough to get a good look at the guy's face, but if Kusei had ordered him to let the guy go, well, his boss should know what he was doing. The perp was someone else's problem now. He had just ceased his pursuit when Kusei's panicked voice sounded shrill in his ear. Eep! Someone's taken Hitomi! Kano recognized Kusei's trademark squawking immediately. Subject is male. He appears to be carrying a gun. He's fleeing in the direction of Meiji Dori. What? Kano could hardly believe it. Hitomi had been kidnapped? This is sounding familiar. Has she been taken? But why? Someone must have been waiting for a moment like this when the police took her eyes off her. What in the world is going on? Kano hurried to search for the man who'd taken Hitomi. If he was heading toward Meiji Dori, there was a good chance he'd gone down one of the alleyways nearby. This is the exact same. After riding through the side streets, he'd spotted a different man. Wait, we did it different though. Fuck. Damn it. Okay. Okay, Achi, you need to go save Hitomi. You love getting killed. Shut up. Whoa! Sprinting alongside him was a young man in a suit. Then seemingly from everywhere, a whole bunch of other guys burst into motion. He's so cute, actually. First one, then another. A third, a fourth, a fifth. Over a dozen now. What the heck? Clearly something big was going down. Hi, Chet. Hi, Streamer. Hi, Dwarf. How are you? Ugh! Are they after the case? Within moments, Aji lost sight of them all throughout the crowd. With that many people chasing them, the guy with the case was sure to get caught. But wait, what about the girl? Aji turned her back around. The girl was still there. She was staring in the direction that the man who'd taken the case had gone, a worried expression on her face. Achi couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong. Maybe he should talk to her and ask what was going on. Another crazy day in Shibuya. They had to be shooting a scene for a film on on location. It would probably be a mistake to intrude. No, let's get in there.
Hey.
Make your move, Achi. Slick your hair back. Make a good impression. But just as he was making up his mind, a middle-aged man in a ratty business suit shuffled awkwardly over to her first. Who the fuck is this? Was there something wrong with one of his legs? He was using a cane to walk. Then one of his hands slipped into his jacket pocket. Achi could scarcely believe his eyes. A revolver. What's that? Oh, it's a Colt Detective Special. 38 caliber revolver introduced in 1927 by Colt's Manufacturing Company. A classic example of a snub-nosed revolver. As the name implies, the weapon is frequently carried by detectives, narcotics officers, and the like for self-defense. Gun! Suddenly, a young man came running through the crowd. Seeing him, the man with the cane turned on his heel and vanished in the scramble. Something big was going down. What is all this? The young man was closing in on the girl, his expression grim. That guy's up to no good. Achi sprang into motion. Hey-ya! Leaping high, Achi delivered a flying kick right between the man's shoulder blades. The guy went down, but recovered surprisingly fast, spinning back to his feet to grapple with Achi. What the hell is your problem? You just get caught. Wrong one! The two stood staring at each other down as the crowd swirled around them. Whoa, is this Yowie? Let go of me. You let go of me first. After you let go of me, sure. You first, pal. Don't you call me a pal, man. Don't you call me man, pal. Neither man was willing to yield. The crowd had parted to avoid the scuffle. Passerby were staring from all sides. Well, crap. Achi got a sudden sinking feeling. What the hell am I even doing? Jumped in over my head as usual. What in the yowie? His anger melted away. He loosened his grip. Without further argument, the other man let go of Achi's jacket. He's praying to Hachiko. Turning quickly away, the stranger hurried over to the statue of Hachiko, where he dropped to his knees, dejected. The girl who'd been standing there was nowhere to be seen. Maybe this was the guy she'd been waiting on? The guy was clearly upset that she was missing. Achi actually felt kind of bad for him. He decided it would be wise to leave while the guy's attention was elsewhere. Just another day for Mean Clean. Whew. He hurried back along the road to his house. The wind had gone out of his sails, and he didn't feel much like cleaning up trash anymore. Oh, well, guess I'll read some manga and go to bed. Better play it safe before the day got any worse. Yaoi men kissing in Mayamonte stream? Hey, nudes. Bad end! Tussle with a stranger. What was this one? This one was, what's the deal? So don't talk to her? Another crazy day in Shibuya. Getting bad ends. Shut up. Wow, crazy town. Anyways, I bet that's what this is. Some TV show about a kidnapping and a girl has to make a ransom handoff. There's probably some actor lurking around here playing the suave, handsome detective. I should give a chuckle and turned away. I need a Mean Clean shirt. A soothing breeze blew by as wispy clouds drifted overhead. They picked a nice day for a shoot. Smiling inwardly, he resumed his trash-picking mission, wondering what other surprises the day would hold. Huh? What is this? 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 What few moments later, he heard a loud bang, and the scramble went into an uproar. Huh. Someone blew a tire? Achoo! People were running from all directions to see what had made the sound. Oh, maybe they're shooting an action scene now. Achi was a tad bit curious, but he strolled away from the scramble without looking back. Once a monthly Monty Mole physical check-in where I say things in chat. Okay, good. You've filled your quota. Welcome. Maybe he'd head out to Yotsuya today and stretch his legs a little bit. Okay. It was best not to get distracted. There was trash that needed collecting. Alright. Your future is garbage! I probably had a pretty uneventful day. But the girl was actually in danger. He discovered if he had investigated further. But we didn't. Do we have to like go back to the jump? And now we make this decision? But, huh? Oh, no. Wait, so I need to... Okay, we have to jump first. Maybe? And then... we've done both of these is the thing. Kano at his own. Can you swap when they're fighting? You are crazy. Get out. Yeah, this is the same. While they're fighting. I'm confused. I mean, I guess we haven't approached the girl. I mean, this is just going to be the bad end from earlier. What kind of person makes a young lady carry around something heavy like that? If I were you, I'd bust the head of the punk that's kept you waiting. Huh? That thing looks heavy. Let me carry it for you. The girl stared back at Achi with wide eyes, but said nothing. Really, I'm happy to help. I'm not going to steal it or anything. His tone was hurried, and he impulsively reached for the attaché case. In an instant later, a group of men descended on him from all sides. Ah! For an instant, Achi froze, unable to process just what was happening. He tried to run, but the men shoved him unceremoniously to the ground and held him there. They were shouting about something or other, but he couldn't make out their words. The more he tried to struggle, the harder they held him down. What the hell is this? You can tell us that down at the precinct. A man in a suit knelt alongside him, flashing a police badge. Yep. I'm the guy in the top left. I loved his face. You're arresting me? What the heck did I even do? Instead of answering, they shoved Achi into the backseat of a patrol car. He gazed dejectedly out the window. You could still see the girl. She didn't have the case anymore. Now she was talking to a man with a cane. Was he the type of person that we'd be waiting for? Mika. 31 months. 7 feet tall. Yeah, you know, my whole 7 feet. All 7 of them. Oh, shit, a pike. Car turned the corner, and the two of them slipped out of view. Achi slumped back in the seat, sulking and silent. Several hours passed. After a bunch of pointless questioning, the police finally determined he was innocent, and his father came to pick him up. For a long while, Austria stared intently out the window of the car. Finally, his father caught his attention. The old man seemed to be in a surprisingly good mood despite having to collect his son from the jailhouse. Archie, there's something I want to talk to you about. It's about me taking over the shop. Now is not the time, okay? No, it's not that. Look, let's just get home first. Sure, don't feel like going out today anyway. But now I'm curious. What do you want to talk about? I got some good news. I think you'll be pleased. We're rich! Not sure if I like the sound of that. Please don't tell me you're getting remarried or something. Dad, I really don't like the sound of that. So began a very long conversation. Alright, number 5, arrested. Maybe you should have finished dealing with the garbage first and watch how this situation played out. I'm trying. Good news, my boy. But... Oh, wait a second. This changes. So I have to set it up. Hold on, hold on. You have to set it up and then go. So, let's do this. Okay, so we got Archie out of the way. Was a young man in a suit. We don't need to do anything. So, okay, now we're not at that. This is here now. What is this one? To follow or not? Okay, so let's have him go talk to her. Right? So now he's going to talk to her. Do you see what I'm trying to do? So now if I go here and say not to follow. So we definitely don't chase. Oh, well, it's not letting me skip anymore. So earlier it was letting me skip when I got to the familiar stuff. Kano had almost gotten close enough to get a good look at the guy's face. But if Kuze had ordered him to let the guy go, well, his boss should know what he was doing. The perp was someone else's problem now. Okay, we did it. Kana headed back to the scramble and took up his post again. Hitomi was still standing at the handoff point, staring worriedly in the direction that the suspect had fled. No doubt she was wondering why all of a sudden the police had decided to let the guy go. Kana jogged over to Hitomi, but before he could reassure her... Yeah! A sudden blow from behind sent him sprawling to the ground. Kana's mind flooded with rage as he scrambled back to his feet. What the hell? He spun around to find himself grappling with a belligerent young man. What the hell is your problem? Kano snapped. What the hell is your problem? The stranger shot back. Let go of me. You let go of me first. After you let go of me, sure. You first, pal. Don't you call me pal, man. Don't call me man, pal. The crowd had begun to stare. Not good. Here he was causing a scene in public, blowing his cover in the middle of an important case. This was neither time nor place for some random dumb quarrel. Even as he came back to his senses, Kano felt the strength ebb from the stranger's grip. He pushed the man away and quickly turned back toward Hitomi. She was gone. He scanned the area for any sign of her, but she had vanished without a trace. Kuze's mobile command center had also disappeared. What did I miss? The blood drained from Kano's face. You're telling me that it was Kuze who set this up? I almost expected that from the way that he let him go. There's a Fujoshi in the crowd right now with a bleeding nose. Yeah, her name's Amontillado. The investigation had left him utterly behind. There wasn't even any signal in his radio. They must have switched frequencies while he was caught up in the tussle. Kano turned back to confront the troublemaker. No, there wasn't any other red text. He was gone, too. Kano spun on his heel, searching, but the young man was nowhere in sight. The attaché case, Hitomi, the troublemaker, he'd lost all three. Right out the starting gate, he'd bungled the entire operation. He should have let Tatano to look after Hitomi and gone after the attaché case himself. What the hell was he doing? Kano felt his self-confidence ebbing away like water. Maybe it's time to move back to the sticks. Maybe Tokyo's too fast-paced for a screw-up like me. He had no idea what to do next, and so he just stood there, frozen, already drafting his letter of resignation in his head. No, 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 don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. No, 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 no. Damn it! Shit. If he had chased after the thief who took the attaché case... You love losing. God damn it. So he does need to go back. God damn it. Yeah, then we can, yeah. No, trust me, I got it. Fuck you, Kuze. What? Kano ran faster. The man sprinted through the side streets. Evidently, he knew his way around Shibuya pretty well. He noticed two people over by a trash pile. At first, they appeared to be a young couple. Then, looking more closely, he realized that the girl was Hitomi. Mr. Kuze, I've located Hitomi Osawa. The couple took off running, the rough-looking guy dragging Hitomi by the hand. She's with a man in his 20s. It looks like she's being led away against her will. Clarify, please, Kuze demanded. What's going on? I'm not sure. Was this guy a member of some criminal group? It looked like the two were running away from something. All right, we'll handle the foreigner. You go after Hitomi. Got it. Got a spring in action. Stop right there. The young man glanced back at Kano, but rather than stopping, he picked up speed, continuing to drag Hitomi along with him. She didn't seem quite able to keep up. Kano knew he couldn't catch them. He tried to close the distance in a sprint. After a short distance, the young man stopped, realizing he couldn't outrun his pursuer. Everything's going nuts! Oh, wait, hold on. What the hell, is that an ingrown hair? Ugh, I've got a bump on my leg. Yeah, a cigar for a little night in. Was that an ingrown hair? Oh, whoa. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Shielding Hitomi behind him, he glowered at Kano. Why did you run off? Kano demanded. 'Cause you were chasing us. A blatant lie. People didn't just bolt like that without good reason. No, you cannot see. I threw it away already. The young tough started edging away, keeping Hitomi behind him. Kano followed. Look, just let the girl go. Guy glanced back at Hitomi. She shook her head fearfully. Maybe this troublemaker had warned her to keep her mouth shut. You've got this, Kano. Just don't let them out of your sight. Oh, he's so cool. Gah! A sudden blow to the top of his head left him staggering. His eyes spun as he reeled with vertigo. There was a flapping sound, and a vague black shape wheeled above him. Was that a crow? The book. The Dick Diary. It was the last thing Kano saw before his vision went dark? Are View all bad endings in the 10 o'clock time frame. Oh, Jesus. All right, let's try talking through this time. A revolver. God's worst gamer. Shut up! I'm not going for 100% on purpose. Oh my God. With a single fluid motion, the man lifted up the gun and pointed it in the girl's direction. He was aiming right for her head. Huh? The girl had noticed the man with the cane now. Seeing the gun pointed right at her, she froze in fear. Archie didn't hesitate. Of course he didn't! That's mean clean! Breaking into a full run, he tackled the gunman with all his might. Caught off guard, the man sprawled to the pavement. Blaster on his skull! But the would-be assassin kept hold of his weapon and quickly scrabbled back to his feet. Archie knew he had to act fast. He grabbed the ashen-faced girl by the arm and attempted to drag her away. This way, he shouted. She just stared at him, uncomprehending, trembling like a startled animal. Come on, run! Finally, the girl snapped out of her daze and gave a fearful nod. The police box, let's go! Yeah! The police box, let's go! Still pulling the girl by the hand, Archie headed for the police box outside the train station. But it's empty! There are always policemen staffing these things. Why did it have to be unmanned now? Archie flashed a worried glance behind him and saw the assassin in pursuit like a man possessed. Yikes, this is not good. There's nothing more they could do but run. With the frightened girl in tow, he still has his trash bag. Archie ran beneath the JR Yamanote line. Oh, what's that? That's the railway loop line that services the Tokyo metropolis. Typically, the morning rush is quite intense with the stretch of Ueno Station to Okachimachi Station, sometimes crowded as high as 216% capacity. Roughly 300 people riding in a space designated for 143 passengers, unrelated to the Yamate line subway that operates in the line of Kobe. But that's not important, right? What now? Railway overpass. Don't worry, just trust me, he told her. But first... There we go. Finally. They sped past a convenience store where an employee was cleaning up the sidewalk. Here, take this, will ya? Archie tossed a bag of trash. Huh? Wait, what? This way! They slipped through the crowd. Oh no, not into the back alley! But this way's a dead end, the girl said breathlessly. Like I said, just trust me. Ooh. Stopping abruptly, Archie kicked down a wooden plank covering a gap between two buildings, clearing a space that a person could fit through. Wait a second, do I have controls? I do have... Oh, I've got... Why did my gamepad suddenly start working? I could feel something like vibrating on my desk and kept looking at my phone. I was like, am I getting text messages? Is my fucking controller vibrating? He knows this town like the back of his hand. This is Shibuya. This man loves Shibuya. But the girl just stood there, looking terrified. What's the matter? Archie asked. Come on, we gotta hurry. But I... She looked at him as if he, too, was about to pull a gun on her. He could hardly blame her. After all, he was just some random guy who had turned up out of nowhere. But this was no time for dawdling. The man with the cane appeared at the end of the alley. If they just stood there, he was going to catch them. Okay, sweetheart, hear me out, he said in a rush. The name's Hachiendo. I live in the neighborhood, and I'm not the kind to stand idly by when a girl is being chased by some killer. So please, just trust me, and I'll do my best to keep you safe. He hoped the look in his eyes could convince her he was being on the level. After a painfully long moment, the girl nodded her acceptance. Whew. Alright, let's start with this. They had paused beside an enormous stack of beverage crates. With a quick shove, Archie knocked the whole pile down, sending it cascading across the pursuer's path. Bro thinks he's smooth, and he's right. That's Archie fucking Endo. Shut your mouth. Now that was a close call. The man with the cane was floundering, struggling to get past the fallen crates. My bad, man, Archie called out. Mind cleaning that up for me? Bro, it's smooth. The man scowled back at him and fumbled for his gun. Archie flashed him a wave goodbye, then slipped away between the buildings with the girl. He is smooth. We're done with the action scene. Hurrying down a narrow alley, they emerged onto a side street lined with dive bars and clubs. My bad, I wasn't familiar with this game. Assuming the man, he's got that recycler Riz. Assuming the... No, he does that reduce, reuse Riz. Riz cycle? Hold on, there's so many that we can go through. Oh my god, it's Ass Taster's back. My payments for my 200,000 income from Twitch. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's a good one. Thanks, Ass Taster. Welcome back, man. Assuming the man with the cane hadn't given up, he would probably lie in wait on the path back to the main road. Riz Deuce, Riz Use, Riz Cycle. One of those has to be a keeper. Archie decided their best was to try and stay inconspicuous rather than risk getting caught on the move. Tax evasion is no joke, Amonte. I got money back for my taxes this year, thank you. Guess we can lie down here for a bit, he said. He led the girls to the entrance of a tiny old hostess club. Oh, she followed him reluctantly. And all the ladies said, "Oh my god, it's Archie!" Archie flicked the switch inside the front door and a I don't think I can say that word. Chandelier glowed to life. He set the girl down on the small sofa beside the counter. She gave him a worried look. Archie felt a pang of embarrassment as he realized what she must be thinking. Oh, no, don't get the wrong idea. I'm not going to try any funny business. Someone I know used to run this place. It's not a business anymore, so I figure we're safe here. The girl chuckled at his evident discomfort. All right, then, she said. So, we good? We're good. Okay. Well, good. Archie made a vague attempt to straighten his disheveled clothes. So, how about some introductions? I'm Archie Endo, like I said earlier. You can just call me Archie. I'm Hitomi Osawa. You can call me Hitomi, I guess. With each new word out of Hitomi's mouth, Archie felt his heart sing. She was charming, personable, just about everything about her was captivating. Archie had never met another girl like her. Archie? What? Is something the matter? You were spacing out there for a bit. Aw, he's in love. The mean clean has met a stain he just can't scrub away. Archie shook his head to dispel his daze. Damn it, this is no time to get all starry-eyed. He needed to think of some way to keep her safe from the guy who was after her. Look, can you tell me what the heck is going on? Please, I need to know if I'm going to help you. Right, okay. I'm not really sure where to begin. Hitomi looked down, lost in thought. Mean Clean has found his clean queen! Very good. Every clean king needs his clean queen. Apparently hers was a long story. All right, she said at last. I guess I'll just explain things as they happened. Wait, hold up. Could you keep it as simple as you can? I mean, I'm not really the sharpest tool in the shed. Complicated explanations aren't exactly my strong suit. Okay, Hitomi chuckled. I'll try my best. My sister got kidnapped. She got comfortable, then started her story. So, last night, somebody abducted my sister. The kidnapper demanded that I make the ransom handoff personally. He told me to stand by the statue of Hachiko in Shibuya at 10 o'clock in the morning to make the exchange. So I did. And this man came by and took the attache. Whoa, I'm sorry. Hold up a sec. Why'd you interrupt her? The money and then afterwards, that other guy with the cane turned up and pointed his gun at me. And whoa, I'm sorry. Hold up a sec. Archie had suddenly lost the thread of conversation. Now, how do I do this on my game? Okay, it's X. Lost the thread. At times like this, you can press a tutorial. To go back and reread what you've already seen, you can also press to quickly scroll back through sections you've already read. A mark will appear in the upper left corner of the screen while you're paging back and forth like this. You can press the Can you say it again, but like simpler? Huh? Here. I'm just having trouble following, is all. I mean, is this the plot to some movie or soap opera? It is. That is a cute tutorial. No, that's not. Or some kind of hidden camera show? This is real. This really happened. The look in Hitomi's eyes was dead serious. She's gotta be telling the truth. What would be the point of lying? After you failed like 5 or so times already and started using it early. Shut up! Shut up! And he had seen the attaché case and the gunman himself. How much was the ransom, if you don't mind my asking? Hitomi hesitated. 50 million yen, she said after a moment. Achi gave a whistle of amazement. The detectives told me that was a typical amount for a kidnapper to ask for. It's plenty, that's for sure. I guess there's good money in that sort of thing. As soon as the words were out, he realized his blunder. Sorry, I shouldn't have put it that way. He fidgeted awkwardly, and Hitomi looked away. I'm an idiot, but okay, I think I get this kidnapping thing. So I'm guessing those guys who chased the guy who took the ransom were undercover cops? He replayed the scene in his head. But then, the kidnapper took the attaché case and ran, right? So if you're empty-handed, why did that guy with the cane come after you? I'm honestly not sure. Hitomi's words trailed off. This was clearly difficult for her to talk about. Yeah, her sister might be dead. No, we can't do that. Hitomi's tone was resolute. I can't take this to the police. Why not? Achi waited for an answer, but none came. After a long and awkward silence, she stood up from her seat. I really appreciate the help, but I should go now. She gave Achi a deep bow. Nuh-uh, hold on. What do you mean go? Go where? He hurried to intervene as she headed for the door. I don't want to cause you any more trouble. I'll figure the rest out on my own, somehow. Hey, I said hold on. Hitomi ignored him and opened the door, and their argument came to an abrupt halt. Standing there was the man with the cane, his revolver in his hand. No! To be continued. Ugh. Ugh. We need a new character. Achi Indo's 10 o'clock story ends here. However, Shinya Kano still has more to do. Read along further in Kano's story. Oh, we've got so much more to go. The man down a dead and narrow high. Yeah. Oh, the man shot out onto a major thoroughfare, then bolted up a pedestrian bridge. Just where the heck was this guy heading? Halfway across the bridge, the man stopped abruptly. Bro. This guy thinks he's George Michaels. Cautious, Kano stopped as well. Oh my lord. Oh my god. Height, roughly 190 centimeters? Age, 30s. Hair, dark brown. Clothing, all black. A moment later, the man flashed a triumphant sneer as he held up the attaché case. Before Kano could even yell, "Stop!" It was already too late. The man threw the case down to the roadway below. No! Panicking, Kano peered over the railing. A man on a motorcycle was waiting beneath the bridge. I've been had. Kano bit his lip hard. Damn it! Kano sprinted back down the bridge. Hearing the bike's engine roar to life, he had to make it in time. Descending the stairs 4 at a time, he leapt toward the roadway, but the bike sped out of reach and roared away. You should have just kept up with the guy. Direction of Yoyogi, leaving Kano in its dust. Looking back up at the overpass, he saw the man who'd thrown the attaché case running away. He handed the money off to someone else. He's currently on a motorcycle heading toward Yoyogi. His report to Kuze complete, Kano slumped down in dismay. The Cops had played right into the criminals' hands. Now the crooks were getting away, and people's lives were in danger. Was there any greater failure for a policeman? Staring off into the distance where the man who'd thrown the case had disappeared, Kano gritted his teeth. There we go. Okay, he's done now. You finished reading both character stories for the hour. Oh, the hour! You'll make your way through all the protagonist stories in parallel like this. Once everyone has reached the end of a given hour, the next hour can begin. Oh! Wait, that was all a preview for the next hour? We have so many protagonists! This is the end of the tutorial for this part of the story. You can reread previous tutorial messages via the main menu. There's a lot of important info in there, so reread it closely. Now, 428 has reached the 11 time block. You have 5 protagonists available. Oh my god. 5 characters. We still got Kano. Whose story will you read first? Who are you? Who are you? Who is this guy? What are you? He dances. I love their animations. They're so good. Oh, whoa. Wow. This is a good place to stop. We'll just do the 11 time block next time. Because unfortunately, I do need to sleep soon. However, this is fascinating. So, like, I'm used to visual novels that, like, make you switch between them, but I'm not used to it being this fast-paced. Like, this is very active. So that's very interesting, especially in how, like, you have to set it up in the other timeline, it seems. So, like, if Achi just had, like, a bad end and needed to be in a certain position, you know, you have to set it up. That's interesting. I'm sure that it's going to get annoying, but it's very cool. Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, Sleepy Ghost time. Oh, let's see. What the heck is going on Twitch? What the heck is going on Twitch? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Amai Umimaru. Look, because I don't think anybody's playing 428 Shibuya Scramble right now. So, I think tomorrow. Is tomorrow Celio's 4-year? Tomorrow might be Celio's 4-year. Or maybe it's Saturday. I'll update Twitter and Discord whenever we're streaming next. But we'll probably end up playing this, because this was really cool and very interesting. And what can I say? I just love losing so much. And so a game where I can lose so many times in such a short time frame is fascinating. Oda! Wow, you're just in time for the end. Oh my god. 11 months. That's almost a year. That's a Twitch baby that's now drooling. Thank you for... You're the best loser. Ugh. Thanks. Thanks. That's what my doctor said to me after I started my weight loss medication. Alright. Have a good night, everybody. I'll see you all next time. Amanti adios. Bye-bye.